Hi, my name is Martin. I'm with Skolaris. Today I'd like to talk about recess and lunch. Let me go to the term screen by clicking the term name on the dashboard. And you'll see I've set up my periods so that there's a slightly larger break between the second and third, and a much larger break between fifth and sixth periods. I will suppose that my school uses a fixed recess period, a fixed recess break, and a fixed lunch break. So by putting in these larger breaks, Skolaris doesn't yet know that this is a recess and this is a lunch. So let me start by a little motivation. Why should we even care? If I open the timetable that I created the last time, you can see there's no problem. But suppose this science lesson is actually a double. So I will edit it and make it a double lesson. And now immediately you will see that this lunch break between fifth and sixth splits this science lesson into two halves. And Skolaris doesn't report any problem. But we don't want this to happen. So how to tell Skolaris to optimize the timetable in such a way that this double lesson is not booked into the fifth period so that it's split by lunch. For that, we need to go back to the term screen and open the optimization settings. And on the top, there's a recess and lunch setup. And at the moment, it says not using fixed lunch. So I will just tell Skolaris that the lunch ends at 13:50. And I will also say that the recess ends at 10 hours and 10 minutes. Save this and go back to the timetable. And there we go. Skolaris reports a problem, which is a lesson split by lunch. So let's optimize this problem away. And stop. And you'll see that science has been moved so that it's not split by the recess and it's not split by the lunch. It's important to realize that if your school only uses single period lessons, you don't need to set up recess and lunch at all. You just put in your correct period times and you're done. There is no need to put in. Let me save this and go back to the term screen. There's no need to put in a break such as this, like making all the slots unavailable and saying that this is the recess and this is the lunch break. This is not a correct setup. The correct setup is just to say that between period 2 and 3 there's like a 20-minute break, and this one will be the recess, and the recess is set up in the optimization settings. So this covers the fixed lunch, but sometimes schools don't use fixed lunch. So let's suppose this break isn't there. Let me just put in the correct times. And I'm not using fixed lunch. So now my school has 7 periods, and the lunch will take the whole period, but it will be either the 5th or the 6th. If we go back to the timetable to see what we want here, so I want to make sure that the children actually do not have this kind of setup, so that the 5th and 6th period are both taught and they have no time for lunch. And in order to change that, I have to change the class group configuration, because each class group can be required to have lunch at different periods. So let me just edit the class group configuration here and put in a lunch of minimum duration of 1, maximum duration of 1. And the earliest start will be the 5th period, and latest start will be the 6th period. So now our timetable is not correct. Skolaris reports a problem that a minimum lunch break duration is not observed on Tuesday and Thursday, which is of course exactly right. What we also want to make sure that if they only have 5 periods on a certain day, such as Monday, the lunch will always follow those 5 periods. In order to set up that, I need to edit the class group configuration again, and I will change the maximum consecutive periods to 5. More problems will be reported here on Tuesday and Thursday, because now there's 6 consecutive periods, which is not allowed anymore. So let's see, let's try the fast optimization, see what Skolaris can do about that. So what happened here is that on the days there are 5 periods, the lunch will always follow. It will be scheduled on the 6th period. It is not shown here because it's actually the end of the day's classes, so it doesn't matter what the children do afterwards. However, on the days when they are required to have 6 periods, there has to be some lunch, and we've set up the lunch. Let me just recap. We've set it up so that it can start on the 5th or 6th period, which is what happens here. On Thursday, the lunch starts at 5th period. On Tuesday, the lunch starts at 6th period. So the lunch break gap is there. The maximum number of consecutive periods is observed as it is 5. And everybody has lunch. Let me show the whole school timetable. So you'll see lunch here, here, here. For the class groups that only have 5 periods a day, nothing has changed. They all will have lunch after their daily classes are over. So, okay. We can also see that the recess is observed still, because I haven't changed that setting. If I'm looking for the class group with the double science here. Okay, let's suppose I move the science into the 2nd period so that it's split by recess. Skolaris correctly identifies that as a problem, so that this lesson is split by recess. Let me just re-optimize again. And I think that's all for today. We've correctly set up fixed and then dynamic lunch. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.